everyone. This is Creative DME from Creative DME Designs, and I just want to show you something. I made this for this month's Dear Julie quiz. Quiz. Monthly A to Z ephemera thing. And this is actually going to be my personal journal for finds and makes, and like I'll put all of my pre-designed things in here or pre-mades before I do a video for you guys. So I thought I had so I had problems with a phone at the beginning of the month, and I did have to switch out phones, and I actually lost a few videos. I believe one of them was this one showing you this. This is an extremely antique handkerchief that my grandfather, my grandpa Walter, who was Swedish and come over on a boat from Sweden, this was actually his handkerchief that he brought with him from Sweden. And I wanted to use it. It was dying. I mean, there were holes. It was becoming stripped in sections. It is silk. And I figured, putting it on this and putting base coats over it was probably a better thing than just having it sit in a little box that I had. So what I've done in here is I've done a journal with just brown paper. And this is so I can find things that I like. The first part of the paper of the book is anything A that comes up. Ideas, the name of a new pocket, like here I have accordion folds, angles, adornments, ATC cards. So that's what I've done. I've just gone through and done those. Now some of these, obviously A and B have too long things, so there are flips on the sides. So I went through and did that, and as I find things I will add to these sheets. I just really think that this will help me keep things organized. I am not an organized person. And if everything is in one book, it will be much easier for me to find things. So there are, how many did I put in here? Gosh, I think I put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I think there's 12 in here, and I did do a binding stitch that it's all behind here. They're all very small ones so that I could get things in here. So when I was going to put something in here, I literally just opened the book, and if there wasn't something on the page, I threw it on the page. So this is my first one. This was one of the things I had come up with for Julie's thing. This is washi tape balances. So they are just pieces of washi tape that I put on a scrap piece of paper. I hung them down, and then I put washi across it. And then I glued it on the back of the page. Now this one does come out a little further, so it is almost like a little flag page. It doesn't have to do that. You could make it part of the page or a short portion of the page. You could probably do it. You could do it in from any side. Excuse me. I have had a cold for the last weekend, so sinus infection, love allergies. So this is something I came up with. This was a double door. It's got pockets in here. And actually, here, I'll show you. These right here are actually pockets too, but I don't know what I would put in them. But I did not, I only glued it on the edges, and I did that on purpose. Those I did not. These stickers are all from those really nice thick sticker books, which I keep next to me all the time. I love them. Oh, and then I need to open it so you guys can see it. This is a Dear Julie paper. And then on the inside, I did sort of an Indian theme because I had these gorgeous napkins. So these are little pockets, and these are all more like fabric than paper, even though I did use paper for it, but the paper that I used was handmade paper. So that's good. I have 2 pockets here, or 2 belly band pockets here. I did glue it in down the center so that nothing would slip out and cause it to when you go to close the book, that something would be in the way and it would end up stopping it. So I didn't put much in here, but I did a lot of work on the inside of this. There are 7 layers underneath this of different papers. And then I'd sand it, and then I'd put some watercolor or ink or acrylic paint down. I'd let it dry, and then I'd sand it again, and to expose some of the stuff that was underneath. And then I did that with napkins, and that. So there's a little tiny 7 up in the corner in pencil that I made so you can barely see it. So I think I put that there to say that I did it 7 times. I do little notes like that, and I usually make them so you can't see them, so I know where to look for them. So that is my double thing, and obviously I did something on the outside of this to make the brown paper look. There's actually some stamping on here. You really can't see it much, but they're like little eyes up and down. And then I did some white. What else did I do on here? And I did some gold. I'm taping. Thank you. I'm taping. Okay, have fun. That's okay. They know this house is a normal house, and there will be interruptions. This is a huge double. I started writing everything what they were: decoupage, Zentangle, pocket. So I had this lovely book about things that happened in the 20th century. There were so many beautiful pictures in it that I just started tearing them out and using them for decoupage things. So these are numerous things. Like, I know this is the antibiotic, close-up of an antibiotic germ. There's some architecture here, but I also did some Zentangling on these to fill up the space. I do tend to do my own drawing on all of my pages if there's space. I think that adds a piece of you into the journal rather than using just things that, it's putting more of your craft into it. And now these are vintage laces. This one is very, very soft. It came from what would be your cuff. It's still hand sewn there. I made it like a pocket, but then I realized that it was too fragile. So I took the book page and I flipped it up. So this is really a big wide pocket now that you could actually put a lot in, but I wouldn't want to fracture it. This book is actually a Swedish book of poems that I found at a thrift store, and I figured I'd add them in. This is a vintage too. I put a silk handkerchief behind it to sort of make it stand out from the pages I have there. This is another one of those lace cuffs. I know that they all came from my grandma Millie's house because she used to save lace cuffs and vintage lace whenever she'd find them to use to make her doll dresses or just to save because someday somebody would need it. This is a 1, 2, 3, and then a 4th one back there pocket that you flip up, and then there's 2 pockets here. There's one for the back, one in there, and then this one. And this one is another one of the washi balances. This is another one of the pages that I did with all those things I cut out. This is actually double decoupaged double pocket. So there's a big long pocket, and then there's a little pocket here, and there's some Zentangling on here. Like, I did the little thing to make the hand look like it was moving. And my little Albert Einstein, I don't want to glue him down any more than he is. So I don't know. I just have to flip it over every single time. This is my pockets that I made up. I use 3D math. I don't know, it's like a decagram and a hexagram, and like they make 3D shapes. You can get them at the Dollar Tree in the school section. I've been using these for years to practice my Zentangling on it because it's the perfect size in each block. And then usually I make them up and I, hang them in my studio. This time I didn't, and what I did is I made them into pockets. This one is actually, because it would be a section of 5, I made a pocket of 3 and a pocket of 2. And then I punched out circles in a bunch of the scraps of Dear Julie paper I had left over, and just Zentangled on those also, and just stuck them around to make them look like they're floating around the pockets. And you'll see some of the pages I did have to add paper to, and some of them I left some extra paper on so that they have things. This is a Franken page that in order to make this page, I just put pieces of paper together. You can see that. I have a monster roll of craft paper. I think it's 4 foot by I don't know how many yards, but right now it's about from the middle to the outside that big. And I've always had a holder for it, but I can't find a wall that will hold it where the circles are, where you put the screws in. So it just leans up against my bookshelf now. But I used that paper and I pulled like 4-foot sections off, and that's how I made these. This is another thing I'm going to be showing you how I did very soon. I don't know if I'll make it up today or this weekend, but this is a faux rice paper pocket colored with watercolors. I've seen people do the faux rice paper pocket. I tried to look something like this up on Facebook and on YouTube and on Pinterest, and nothing came up about painting on faux rice paper as you make it. So as you're laying down the layers, you actually paint before you put the paper down, and then once you put the paper down. Okay, this is another one of the lace pockets that I made, and it actually goes over the edge. This is extremely old. I know that this is probably from about 1850. Just because my grandmother, she may not have liked me, and I think these little notes that she left were probably for my sister, but there were a lot of little tags or pieces of paper stuck in things that would say from who they were from and what year they were from. And I'm sure they were for my sister, because she gave my sister everything. And I bet she thought she wasn't going to get, that I wasn't going to get stuff anyway. But thank goodness she died before my grandfather, and he fixed it. Or fixed most of it. This is a snippet roll vertical belly band with a flower I added with stuff from the snippet roll. This is a snippet roll on a pocket. And this is a snippet roll belly band that I made into a fastener, just for a little note. There's actually nothing on what's on the inside. I made it mostly for that because I needed something to put to show the little mini belly band that I made. And that's all that's in this book. Oh no, at the very end, I am also trying to keep track of, I don't know why that's in there. That's weird. I wonder if I meant it for something and I meant to do, I wonder if I meant to do something there and I totally didn't, because I probably got interrupted. I am putting notes to myself about people that I meet, people who have sent me gifts and other things to try to get my business up. I would like to look into Buy Me a Coffee, but then I just learned there's another site that's better. and it works more like Patreon, but Patreon has way too many must do's every month. For me, because of my lupus, there may be some time where a week I can't do anything or tape anything because I don't feel good, or I don't have a voice, or my hands have swollen up with hives. So I need to be able to have that time if I'm not feeling good, to be able to back away for a little while. This is things that I've learned from people. One of the things I learned was from scrapbooking with me, and I'll be showing that. And then this is people that I know from a group, from Dear Julie's group, and that I've been involved with. So that's this book. My other book that I have here is my Wicked book, that every time I have a scrap, I open this book to a page, I paste it in, and then if I'm looking for something or looking for a scrap, I come in here. Some of them I've only put a little bit of it in because I started doing them as little flips. Easier to take out, but every page is doubled up. I also have a section of pages that I'm keeping in here. Right here, these are the do not touch pages. Save these pages from the Wicked book because there's something on them that I want. So I've been just pasting everything in that I have, that I'm saving for little snippets, rather than holding them in a little, well, I still have my little bowl here, but at the end of the day, I have to take what's in the little bowl, except for the little tiny, tiny, tiny baby things in there, and put them in the book. That's something that I've started for myself, just to keep myself, to get used to being in to doing something every day, and being I can't think of the word, thoughtful for doing things. I don't know what word I'm looking for. I'm having a lupus lapse right now. Sorry, guys. I forget words very quickly. So those are the books that will always be on my table with me, so that I can either write something down or stick something in it. I hope you enjoyed this video. Once again, this is Dawn Marie with Creative DME Designs. I want to thank my dogs for not going nuts, and even when my husband came up, they were pretty good. And I want everybody to go out. You don't have to be perfect to do these crafts. You just have to let your mind go. Just let everything go and create, guys. It really, really helps me every day to create something, and I'm hoping that I'm going to be able to show that with you. And I don't care if there's a little problem with anything. And that actually is what makes your work art, are the little tiny goof ups that only you know are there, because nobody's going to see an extra spot, or nobody's going to see that the page was torn and then you put a correction on it. That is beauty. All those little oopses are beauty. So once again, excuse me. Usually I do 3. Once again, that's allergies. I have a sinus infection. So this is Dawn Marie with Creative DME Designs, and I want you guys to go out and have a wonderful creative day. Bye.